Okay, so Communications 101, here's the audience. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'll show my cards. Let me make sure you can see my 3 cards. There's the first one, second one, third one. All right. So the other day I was on Facebook and I was kind of mindlessly scrolling when I stopped on this video. It was a video of a 9-year-old girl whose father was actually being detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, better known as ICE. Her uncle was recording the whole thing. This 9-year-old girl is sobbing as her father's being taken away. And I was really emotionally affected by this video. I mean, I don't know how anybody could not be. And the uncle who's recording the video actually says something that really stuck with me and I kind of thought about for the next couple days, and that was that the ICE is breaking up families. So going back a little bit, how did we get to this point? Well, when Donald Trump was elected president, he had kind of made this promise that we were going to crack down on illegal immigration to put America first. So basically, as soon as he took office, he really started cracking down. And we've seen, I mean, anybody who's been paying attention has seen people, you know, being taken away, and they've been doing raids and things like that. The idea behind this is that illegal immigrants are utilizing our resources, our tax dollars, and they're not contributing tax dollars, right? But when we look at numbers, that actually doesn't really add up. So Dreamers, for instance, who are people who came to this country, usually average age is like 6, pay $500 every 2 years so that they can continue staying in this country. They're paying for what's called Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. Many of you have probably heard this. This is DACA. So that actually works out to about $800 million. Now, Dreamers aside, there's also, if you consider, let's say that nobody who was undocumented was working a legitimate job. They were all doing jobs that, you know, were under the table. They're still living in this country, so they still have to buy goods and services. So they're still paying things like estate tax, sales tax. If they buy groceries, they have to pay tax on that. They're, you know, so they're moving our economy forward. They are contributing. And it's estimated that illegal immigrants are actually paying about $12 billion a year in taxes. Now, money aside, the real issue that this video touched on for me was that Americans are actually, unfortunately, better off in what's called a nuclear family, meaning that there's 2 parents. So I'm not here to argue any sort of opinion on raising a child by yourself. I think that's totally a personal decision. But because of the way America prioritizes things, we don't have things like paid maternity leave, we don't have affordable childcare, we don't have affordable health care, right? So when you raise a child in a 2-parent household, you're essentially setting your child up for a few more opportunities because you are giving them 2 parents, and so you're kind of alleviating woes such as, you know, worrying about raising your child in poverty. They're less likely to grow up in poverty. They're less likely to get into trouble because they've got an extra set of eyes on them, things like that. So going back to my 9-year-old girl, I want everybody to kind of stop and think, right? Because this girl has essentially lost her father. Her father isn't going to be there to raise her anymore. He's not going to be there to contribute financially. He's not going to be there to have hands-on teaching moments with her, and so she's going to miss out on opportunities that she may have had this not happen to her, right? So this isn't the same situation, but when we think back to the 80s, for instance, where you had the war on drugs, where essentially what happened was we said we want to make our community safer, right? So what we want to do is we're going to take drugs really seriously and we're going to lock people away who do drugs. And instead what ended up happening was we focused on neighborhoods that had a lot of people of color in them, and then we ended up removing parents from those neighborhoods. And then you had these communities of people who were growing up with one less parent in the household. And so then those neighborhoods and those communities were kind of demolished. They were hurt, they were harmed, they suffered. And so again, this isn't the same situation, but it's similar, and it could have a similar outcome. In summation, we are far better keeping families together, keeping parents with their children, and remembering that as a society, we're all kind of in this together. And really, the money that we would save on taxes is not worth it. Thank you. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.